Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. We're back like we never left. If y'all are watching these, please make sure you hit that like button, get in the comments section, subscribe. We're at 45. I'm trying to get to 100. By week 1, we got 14 days. Y'all help me out. Make sure you're in the comment section. Been going back and forth with the guy about the Michigan stuff in the comment section. We're going to cover a little more of that. I got that. I got my top 5 most underrated teams. I did my top 5 overrated yesterday. ESPN come out with their final SP Plus rankings. And then we got the Big Ten wanting to go to 24 or 28 teams in the playoff. Absolutely absurd, y'all. That would be absolutely absurd. Anyway, do that YouTube stuff for me like I asked. Grab you a snack, grab you a drink. Do whatever you do when you kick back, watch videos. Instead of spending your Saturday night watching some movie on Netflix or something, spend your Saturday night locked in here first. Get your daily knowledge. Then go to Netflix and chill, whatever y'all do. Get wild on your Saturday night. I stay in because I'm old and lame. So, 2 Saturdays away, y'all. We're here. The last Saturday without football, period. You already got some NFL preseason, but next Saturday we got week 0. So we're locking in, y'all. Season's here. It's officially game week for a couple teams, including Kansas State and Iowa State. So the wait is over, y'all. It's literally kickoff week starting tomorrow. So y'all lock in, watch these videos, and make sure you're subscribing, please. All right, first things first, we're going to go over the Michigan stuff a little more. First off, they're appealing. They're appealing to punishment. They got the easiest, simplest slap on the wrist punishment they could daggone get by the NCAA. And they're appealing it. I'll pull this up real quick before we talk about it, y'all. Okay. The NCAA says there are sufficient grounds for a multi-year postseason ban. However, the panel determined that a postseason ban would unfairly penalize student athletes for the actions of coaches and staff who are no longer associated with the Michigan football program. Okay. That'd be all fine and dandy if, in their own rule book, it says that if a team does not cooperate with their investigation, that they will get a postseason ban in their punishment. Okay. Tennessee, when we had them sniffing around in Knoxville, over Pruitt paying like $60,000 to players over 2 years or something, we cooperated to the fullest. And they still talked about a postseason ban for us, but decided not to because we were an exemplary example of how you cooperate with the NCAA. But Michigan ain't cooperated with crap. Connor Stallion straight up said he threw the evidence, his phone, and the hard drive in a freaking pond. He tried deleting stuff, but they got it pulled back up. He straight up told people to lie because they're not the cops, it's the NCAA, so lie your ass off. Well, Bruce Pearl, when he was at Tennessee, he lied about a cookout at his house. He got 3-year show calls. We had to fire him. They know Michigan's lied, and all they get is a freaking slap on the wrist. Oh, Coach Harbaugh and Connor Stallion's got a 10 and 8-year show calls, even though they'll never be in college football again anyway. So the postseason ban should absolutely happen. That's part of their own rule book, but they went against it because they didn't want to punish student athletes. But yet they've had no trouble doing it any other time. For example, USC back in the day, in the middle of their dynasty, the NCAA come in over the Reggie Bush stuff right here. USC was punished for 7 years, 2-year bowl ban, 30 revoked scholarships, 14 vacated wins, 1 vacated title, 1 vacated Heisman, and the end of a dynasty because Reggie Bush's parents leased a house they found from a wannabe NFL agent. So they lost 30 scholarships, 2-year bowl ban over Reggie Bush's parents getting a house for basically free from somebody. But Michigan gets off scotch-free, y'all. I mean, literally $20 million. Dave Portnoy was on there laughing his ass off at the NCAA. It's nothing. And they let Michigan pick the games their coach was suspended for, y'all. So from here on out, no school will ever cooperate with the NCAA again. They won't listen to anything the NCAA says. They're not going to be scared of no punishment. The guy I've been arguing with in my comments said Michigan didn't break no rules. How did they not break any rules if they got in trouble? They got a $20 million fine. 2 coaches can't coach in football for 10 and 8 years, but they didn't do no wrong. That rule wasn't broken. It was just they skated around it a little bit, I guess. So that, and another thing, Ward Manuel, Michigan's athletic director, the same guy who's made sure Michigan didn't cooperate, was there when all this went down, was the head of your college football playoff committee last year, y'all. They're the ones that dropped. I mean, you can't make it up. A guy that won't cooperate with the NCAA somehow ends up as the head of the freaking college football playoff committee. It's absolutely crazy. I'm not going to go over this much longer. It's absolutely blasphemous. The only people that don't have a problem with this punishment is Michigan and Michigan fans. Well, Michigan has a problem with their appealing it. When they got off as freaking easy as they could possibly get off. Every other video you watch, everything else you watch about it, people are in an uproar about how easy they let Michigan off. So the moral of the story is everybody should go hire a sign stealer. Go give people's plays to South Carolina and Clemson like they did the Vols. Connor Stalions gave them. I mean, there's so much evidence that it really happened. So what you do is you go find a guy that can decode signs real good, send them to games, have them buy tickets and send other people to games, have them stand on another team's sideline in the middle of a game for another team, Central Michigan, while he's employed at Michigan. Get signs in that game. Everybody that was involved in Central Michigan then got fired. Jim McElwain, the coach. And other people have been fired at Central Michigan for him ending up on their sidelines. And all you get is $20 million fine. Because Harbaugh ain't there no more. Stalions ain't there no more. Sherrone Moore has to sit out 3 games, only 2 of them this year and 1 next year. So, my advice to any school in the country is go hire your Connor Stalions. So you know everybody's plays, you can beat them, you can cheat your way to a national championship pretty much. I mean, Jim Harbaugh was winning 66, 67% of his games at Michigan before Connor Stalions got hired. And then Connor Stalions got hired, and they're automatically winning 90-some% of their games. And they're finally beating Ohio State. And one of the games they lost was the TCU, and TCU said they changed our signals before they played Michigan because somebody tipped them off. And you think that TCU team was better than Michigan? No. But they changed their signals, and Michigan thought they knew them, and they didn't. So they lost that game. That's all I'm going to talk about that right now. Y'all get in the comment section and tell me, did Michigan get a fair punishment, or did the NCAA give him a slap on the wrist? I want to know y'all's opinion. It seems like the only people that think it's a slap on the wrist is not a slap on the wrist is Michigan fans. Everybody else in the country, every media, every other team thinks that Michigan got a little slap on the wrist. I think they got a slap on the wrist, and I think the NCAA will never get respect from any other school as long as they're still around. And I don't think the NCAA will be over college football for probably another year or two. The SEC and the Big Ten's already talking about breaking away from it. So I say all the big conferences will break away from it. We'll start collective bargaining and make our own set of rules and screw the NCAA. That's my opinion. And it's looked like it's going to go that way for a while anyway. So we'll see. Next up, I want to show you this graphic here of week to week college football. Their SEC offense power rankings. First thing I noticed looking at this is Tennessee at 13. Texas A&M at 4. We're going to go over it real quick. LSU number 1, Texas 2, Alabama 3, A&M 4, Arkansas 5, Florida 6, Oklahoma 7, Georgia 8, South Carolina 9, Auburn 10, Ole Miss 11, Missouri 12, Tennessee 13, Vanderbilt 14, Mississippi State 15, Kentucky 16. I don't have a problem with most of the list, to be honest. Besides Tennessee being at 13, I think Texas A&M and Arkansas are high. I think they should be down in the teens. But ever since Josh Heupel's been there, Tennessee's been a top half of the SEC offense. Most of the time, top 5 at least. And all of a sudden, this year we're going to be in the bottom 4 of the conference. We literally lead the league in rushing every single year. So that means our passing game would have to be absolutely irrelevant. I'm talking like 100 yards a game for us to be ranked that low. That's not going to happen. Tennessee will be a top at least 5 to 6 offense in the SEC at the worst. I think we'll be a top 3, maybe 4. I think we'll be higher, but just on the low end side, not with my orange colored glasses on, I think we'll be probably 3 or 4 in the conference. I mean, and that because we're going to be 1 in rushing. We are every year. It's just Heupel's system. And our running back, we probably got the most talented running back we've had yet in Peyton Lewis. And the freshman, Dewanne Morris, he probably won't play that much this year, but next year in this offense, he's going to be absolutely amazing. So I just thought that was interesting. Y'all tell me who you think of. What you think about that list in the comment section. Do you think Tennessee will be 13th in the SEC? I mean, we're top 15 in the country almost every year in the country, much less the conference. I'm going to give you my 5 most underrated teams for this season, y'all. Number 1, I've got Georgia Tech. I ain't got no graphics for this. I figured it'd be easy for me to go over, I guess. I got Georgia Tech. They're not ranked. They won 8 games last year. Pretty sure. They're over under 7.5 this year. They had Georgia on the ropes last game of the season. I mean, it literally like 3 or 4 overtimes. I think Georgia Tech has a hell of a squad. They got Haynes King back. Haynes King has been a dog down there, y'all. Georgia Tech plays smash mouth, the SEC style football. They're going to pound the damn rock and they're going to play defense. Their coach, I like Brent Key. He's a good coach. So I think Georgia Tech win the season in the top 25. I think they can win 9, maybe 10, according to how their schedule falls. So I look for Georgia Tech to end up in the top 25. I think they're very underrated. I think they should be in the top 25 now. Up next, I got the Vols underrated. I know we're 18th in the coaches poll or 24th in the AP poll, y'all. I think we're a top 12 type of team. I think people's low on us after Nico left. I get it. But Nico never done nothing last year to prove that we'll be that much worse without him. Could we have maybe had a higher ceiling this year with him if he took the next step with the talent he's got? Sure. But I'm a little higher on Aguilar than most of the media is. So flame me in the comments all you want to. I think Tennessee ends up with probably 10-2 record again this year. I mean, got the same schedule this year. It's just flipped. Whoever you played at home, you play on the road. Whoever you played on the road, you play at home. I like our defense. I think we're going to have a top 5 defense. A lot of people think our defense is going to take a step back because we lost Pierce and Omar Norman-Lott and Keenan Pili. I like the guys we have stepping in for them. Our defense has all the secondary back besides Will Brooks. And I think we take a step up in talent in his spot. Now, are these guys going to be as fundamentally sound and football IQ as him? We'll see. But I think our secondary is an absolute no fly zone this year. I think Tennessee's going to have a top 5 run defense and a top 5 pass defense this year. That's how good I think our defense will be, and I think our offense is going to be better than people think. Obviously, somebody has ranked 13th in the damn conference. And we're top 15 in the country every year. I mean, daggone. It's Heupel's offense. I mean, you could have a walk-on out there running it. We'd still be a top 25, top 30 offense. My third most underrated team, Louisville. Louisville under Brom, man, they've been good. They've been around that 8-4, 9-3 range for the most part. I think they end the season ranked. They was receiving some votes. Georgia Tech was as well. I think Louisville's underrated. They brought in Miller Moss. Brom is a quarterback guy. I mean, Tyler Shuck he won with. I mean, I think he can win with Miller Moss. Miller Moss looked very good for USC last year. He had a little slump there in the middle of the year, got replaced by Jaden Maava, however you say it. Sorry on the pronunciation, but I think Miller Moss succeeds in Brom's offense. And I think Louisville is one of the underrated teams this year. I think they end the season in the top 25 with the 8-4, 9-3 type record. Up next, speaking of USC, I got USC underrated. As much as it pains me to say that, I think their schedule is pretty favorable this year. I was picking between USC and Nebraska on who I thought was the most underrated. I took USC. I think their defense is going to be improved enough. I think Maava, however you say it, Maava, I think he is a pretty good quarterback. I think Lincoln Riley's always going to have a pretty good offense. So I think USC surprises people this year, wins 8 or 9 games. That would have them probably in the top 25. I could see them getting a 9. And my last one is a team not a lot of people are talking about, Washington. I think Washington has a way better year than they're predicted. I think their over-under is like 6.5. I like their quarterback, Damon Williams Jr. He's not a talked-about guy. He's very talented, very athletic. And Jed Fish is their coach. He went from Arizona to Washington. If you remember, he had Arizona winning 9-10 games a couple years ago before he left. So I think Washington has a good year this year. And my honorable mention will be Nebraska. If Raiola can take the next step, their defense stays pretty good. I think Nebraska could take a step in the right direction, win 8, maybe 9 games. The only thing that makes me mad about Nebraska is we're supposed to play them next year, and they backed out of it because Matt Rule said, well, why would we take a risk on losing the game when the committee don't care about strength of schedule? That's a loser mentality. If you're scared of competition, you don't need to be in the playoff anyway. So that's my 5 most underrated teams, y'all. Get in the comment section. Tell me if you agree with them, who your 5 most underrated teams will be. I try to reply to every comment. I don't get many, so if you do comment, I should reply to it. So if you want to have a little back and forth, a little debate, get in the comment section. We'll have one. ESPN come out with their final SP Plus one top 25. They did more than 25. I just did 25. And this is Bill Conley. Uses computers, all that good stuff to factor all these stuff in. And it's usually, I mean, it's obviously not an exact science, but it's usually pretty close. And it adjusts as the season goes on. So there will be updated ones of these. Number 1, Ohio State. No problem there. 2, Alabama. I mean, Alabama has the talent to be there. Whether or not Kalen DeBoer gets it out of them this year, we'll see. You got Georgia. No problem with that. Penn State, Texas. Notre Dame. Oregon. Michigan at 8 is absolutely crazy. Got their offense ranked 13th. No, they got their offense ranked 37th. Yeah, that sounds better. Michigan's offense 37th, but they got their defense number 1. That's crazy. After all they lost. You got Ole Miss, Clemson, LSU, Tennessee at 12, A&M 13, Miami 14, Oklahoma 15, Florida 16, South Carolina 17, Kansas State 18, SMU 19, Missouri 20, USC 21, Auburn 22, Indiana 23, Louisville 24, Iowa 25. I literally didn't even look at these when I screenshot them, but that makes me feel good about my couple of my underrated picks. He's got USC at 21, Louisville at 24, us at 12. So I had a couple of my underrated picks on there now. A couple of my overrated teams from yesterday are up higher than even they are in the polls. Michigan at 8, that's one of my overrated teams. Florida's at 16, there's one of my overrated teams. Like I said, this ain't an exact science, y'all. It's computers, all that. So he's got Tennessee's offense 33rd and our defense at 4. I'm guessing that's how many points per game they think you're going to score. So he's got us right there with Michigan on the offense. Michigan 37, we're 33. And you got our defense as the fourth best defense in the country. I'd say we're going to be top 5. I really could see that. Alabama, he's got them a 6 on defense, 3rd on offense. I think Tennessee's going to be better on offense than that, but this is computers. They're factoring in Aguilar, all that, not knowing how he's going to do. And then whenever the S&P Plus come out, when we still had Nico after the season, we was up at I think 7 or 8. So they think we dropped 4 or 5 spots after Nico left. Like I said, this is just computers. It's not an exact science, but a lot of people use that as power rankings. That's how you get spreads. So say we just play LSU and we played at Tennessee, we'd probably be favored with this. But if we played at LSU would probably be a 6-point favorite because they get 3 points for home and they're ranked ahead of us. So they think LSU's defense, what's going to hold them back, and it has been what's held them back. Their offense has been good, really, under Brian Kelly, but their defense has been terrible, and that's the complete opposite of what LSU usually is. LSU's usually defensive and struggling along on offense up until Burrow, and now it's flipped. They're been more offensive team than defensive team, which is wild from what you remember LSU for 20 years, y'all. So that's just, like I said, that's computers. So but it's pretty close. I mean, last year you had Tennessee right there, and we ended up finishing right where he had us, 6-7. But they adjusted. It adjusts as the season goes on, so we will pull that up as the season goes on, just see how it adjusts everybody's numbers. So I think last year Tennessee started around 12, and we ended up in the top 7, 8. Yahoo Sports made their top 25. I just want to go over it real quick. Tennessee's not in it. I'm not going to go over every team. I just think this is crazy. Tennessee's not in it at all. They got Boise State at 16, Texas Tech at 13, Utah at 14. And I'm not saying Utah's an underrated team probably too. If they give you any kind of quarterback play this year, they'll be a top 25 team. That's been their problem. They kept relying on Cam to come back, and Cam Rising, and he always ended up getting hurt again. I mean, it's like 2 years straight. They was relying on him to come back, didn't get a quarterback, and he could stay hurt or just never come back. So the rankings, I mean, they're not that atrocious. I mean, honestly. But the fact that you have Boise State at 16 over some of these Power 5 teams is crazy. After losing Ashton Jeanty, Texas Tech all the way up at 13. I mean, they brought in some talent. They spent some money in the portal. But they got to prove it on the field still. I mean, I've heard about Texas A&M for a couple of years now with Joey McGuire as their coach. They had Tyler Shuck. They had Oregon on the ropes a couple of years ago with Shuck, and he ended up throwing a pick and losing the game. Last thing I want to talk about, y'all. The Big Ten's trying to ruin college football. They're mad because the SEC won't agree to the 4-4-2-2-1 model. If you don't know what that is, it's a 16-team playoff they're trying to jump to in a couple years. Okay? They're wanting 4 automatic qualifiers for the Big Ten, the SEC, 2 for the ACC, 2 for the Big 12, and 1 group of 5 team. So that's 11. And then 5 at-large bids. So whoever the next 5 highest ranked teams are, they get bids. Well, the SEC was on board with it the media days, and then they backed out on them. They're trying to do 5-11 models, so just a 4 Power 4 conference champions, and then 1 group of 5 champion, the highest ranked one, and then 11 at-large bids. So now the Big Ten's considering the idea of expanding the playoff to 24 or 28 teams. I think they're just doing that to try to get the SEC to get back on board with the 4-4-2-2-1 model, because the SEC's on board with the 5+11 model now, and the Big 12 and ACC want that as well. The Big Ten's want their 4 automatic qualifiers, y'all, because they've usually got maybe 3 teams that's good enough for the playoffs and the 12 team, so they want to make sure they get a 4th in. I mean, I can't blame them because the SEC will get 4 in a 16-team playoff regardless. If they ever take the playoff, I think 16 is too much, y'all. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the 12. The 12 is right on that line of pushing it to where the regular season don't matter, and that's what makes college football special. The regular season is what makes college football special because every game matters. Not as much anymore, but it still matters enough that the regular season is important. You go to 24 or 28 teams, I think 16 is going to make it a little worse, but if you go to 24 or 28 teams, the regular season won't be shit. And if the regular season ain't shit, viewership will go down. People won't care until the playoff rolls around. The regular season has to matter. When we only had the BCS especially, I mean, you lost 1 game. You knew for a fact you had to win the rest of them, or you was not going to have any chance at all at playing that title, and you still might not if you lost that 1. We went to the 4 team. Same thing. You lost 1 game, you still had a glimmer of hope. But if you lost another one, you was just hoping to get the BCS Bowl, which was still huge. The BCS Bowl is huge. Now, at 12 teams, you can take 2 losses, which is still okay, because that makes most of the regular season still matter for most teams. At least probably 15 to 20 teams, it still matters to. If you go to 16, 24, we're going to 16. So 16, I won't even talk about. If you go to 24 or 28, you got teams with 4 losses getting in the playoff, y'all. You got 4 lost teams in the playoff. No, thank you. That'll ruin college football, make viewership go down. Yeah, the playoffs will get high ratings, but regular season games won't mean nothing. You literally just have to win 2/3 of your games and you're in. I don't like it. I hope to God they don't go any further than 16. Because if you do, you're ruining the regular season, and then college football is on a downward trend. I mean, it's already struggling because NIL and transfer portal, and you're not being able to hold athletes accountable for their contracts they sign, basically. They can sign a 2 or 3 year deal with you for so many million. And then the next dog, they have a good season. Transfer portal hits. Somebody calls and said, hey, we'll give you 500 more thousand. They're gone. So just like Danny White and Donde Plowman said, collective bargaining is the only thing that's going to fix it. I think we'll get it in a couple years. The NCAA's hired some company to come in and try to cancel NIL deals. That's if they're not from an actual company, or they can void them. Not going to happen in Tennessee. Tennessee done made a law where they'll tell the NCAA and that company to shove it, which they should. And like I said, after that Michigan punishment, nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to respect the NCAA anyway. Nobody's going to do anything they tell them to do. So the NCAA might as well be prepared for another year or two that they're irrelevant. College football break away from them, make their own rules, have collective bargaining. That way they can hold these kids accountable to their deals. They have to stay for a year or two. And all the NCAA has to do, the coaches literally just ask them, hey, make one transfer portal window. After the season, you can transfer. After that, you're stuck. And after you transfer once, you have to sit out a year after that. That's still a good deal for the kids. They're getting plenty of money. They can transfer. But after that one free transfer, you're stuck. Unless you want to sit out a year. And you're probably not going to want to. So you'll think harder on that transfer. And if you transfer after the season, cut out the spring portal. I mean, damn, you're hurting the fans. We don't even get to see spring games anymore on TV because people are so scared somebody's going to call one of their players and offer them money from how they did in the spring game. Cut out the spring portal, have one after the season, make it to where you can transfer once for free, and after that, you have to sit out a year. They went from way too damn Hitler-like on the rules to too far the other way, and now it's Wild Wild West. There is a happy medium. They just have to find it. The NCAA don't want to, I don't think. But anyway, that's enough of my rambling today. I did get some podcast gear. I'm gonna find me somewhere to set it up, so I'll have me a mic and stuff. You'll probably be able to hear me a little better, at least clearer. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. Get me to 100 by kickoff. Help me keep growing this channel. Like I said, this is my dream. My whole life. I've told my dad, my parents, I love to talk about sports for a living. At first, it was play for the NFL or NBA. I'm a fat, slow white boy. I'm fundamental now, but I'm fat and slow. Never had a chance to do nothing like that. So the second best thing is talking about it with y'all. So I appreciate you tuning in. Have a good one. God bless you. Go Vols.